You know him, you love him, you want some more of him. The Voiceover Doctor, a real smooth talker. The Voiceover Doctor Show.
Well, how do you do, everybody? It is Bill Holmes, the Voiceover Doctor, back with our second installment of the Voiceover Doctor Show. And with us, as you can see, is my special guest and close friend?
Longtime friend.
Longtime friend. Okay.
That's better.
Mr. Neil Flynn. Now, most of you...
Hello, America.
There you go. I'm pretty sure 3 people are watching. You know Neil as Mike Heck on the show The Middle. Mm-hmm. On what nights? Wednesday nights?
Wednesday nights on ABC.
And at what time?
It doesn't matter. What matters most is that Modern Family is on that night.
Oh.
So I gather from the
really?
Advertisements.
So as long as Modern Family's on and they watch you before...
That's right. If you're watching Modern Family, you missed it. It's on 8 o'clock, 7 Central.
But now...
Wednesdays on ABC.
Wouldn't you guys say that it was your lead-in that made Modern Family as popular as it is?
I would say that, except I'm on the couch of truth.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot. This is our new studios here at Radioactive Productions studios here. And we are talking on the Purple Couch of Truth.
The Purple Couch of Truth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was forewarned about that.
We got a little more of a budget for this one.
Excellent.
Yeah. So.
Anyway, Modern Family is doing great on its own, and deservedly. Yeah. It's a great show.
Yeah.
We come before it. We start the 8 o'clock hour, they start the 9 o'clock hour, and I have nothing in the world to complain about.
Okay. You also, you folks will remember Neil from a TV show. It was a TV show. I believe it was called Scrubs.
Television program, a situation comedy.
It was called Scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
And you played the janitor, who never had a name. You were always the janitor.
Right.
Right? Did the janitor actually have a name, though, in the script?
Last episode, he said, no. The last episode, he said his name, but he could have been...
Cosmo Kramer?
That's what we were steering away from, trying to make it seem like that thing. So it was never made a big deal.
I didn't see it. What was the janitor's name?
Glenn Matthews.
Glenn?
Yeah. But then immediately someone else goes, hey, Bob. I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah. So he could well have been lying.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've also done, I actually did a little research here. Yeah. Yeah. And leaving out the questionable ones. No.
Okay, yeah.
But you've done several films.
A handful.
Including Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Wow.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
You were in The Fugitive.
I was the Crystal Skull, I believe.
Were you the Skull?
I think so.
Who did you play in?
I never saw the film.
Who did you...
Was I Indiana Jones? That can't be.
No. I believe that was Harrison Ford.
Oh, that's right. Hayfo.
Yeah. Did you call him Hayfo?
That's what I call him.
On the set?
Yeah.
Did you get to... did you pal around?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, for a couple weeks.
And you were rumored to be having an affair with Karen Allen.
Yeah, if only that rumor were true in 1980.
Yeah,
or so.
when we were all in love with her.
Yeah, I saw Animal House the night before I left for college.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it was perfect timing, and that was Karen Allen.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford. You know, this is my second time working with him because.
Oh, right, in The Fugitive.
I shared the screen with him in The Fugitive as well.
And did he? Obviously, he remembered you. What did he have a hand in you getting in that movie?
No.
It was just Spielberg saw you and said it was like Oprah in The Color Purple. He saw you on TV. He's like, I've got to work with this guy.
Probably.
And Quincy Jones told him, yes, call Neil.
Yes, it was very much like that. I'm certain none of that. No. I'll make this a short story.
Okay.
I auditioned for the movie reading dialogue from some project. It had nothing to do with an Indiana Jones script.
All right.
And at least a month later, they said,
you knew it was Steven Spielberg.
It was the unnamed Steven Spielberg.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And at least a month later, they called and said, "Do you want a part in the Steven Spielberg thing?" I said, "Sure. What part?" I said, "That's not the question." Seriously.
Really?
That's what it was. It was the thing was yes or no, no negotiations, working for scale, yes or no.
Yeah.
Without knowing the part.
Yeah.
Yes. Sure.
You're not going to say no to Mr. Spielberg.
And so I did, almost nothing. It's a brief scene that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It's
right.
But I was just happy to be there.
You're like a cop, but you were a detective.
Some kind of FBI thing.
Right.
And it's all about, we're watching you. We're on your tail. Don't forget that. You never hear a thing about it for the rest of the movie. They completely disappear from the plot. And again, that's fine. I don't.
Yeah.
I was just happy to be included. But no, of course, Harrison Ford didn't recognize me, remember me, and I didn't mention it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Oh, it would have been the first thing I said.
You know, I would have been
Like, hey,
afraid.
remember me, Harry?
I would be afraid that it crossed my mind that I would say, we worked together before, and he could go, oh, we can't have that. You know, this guy and I. And I'm like, what did I do?
I'm in a McDonald's commercial and Burger King wants me, so
sort
forget
of like
it.
that, a conflict. Yeah, I did. So no, I just kept my mouth shut.
All right. Well, look, you did The Fugitive. We mentioned Rookie of the Year, Major League.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out. These are all things that people have mentioned to me, and of course, we did a film together, a film that nobody in America saw called Baby's Day Out.
Right.
And then, but Major League, people, when I tell people that you and I knew each other in high school and whatnot, they always go, "Oh, the guy from Major League."
Get out of here.
Seriously, I mean,
That's
people seem to
insane.
know
Why
that
would-
a
why
lot.
would-
Because all you did was yell out and curse or something, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just said, use the F word in every line.
You can say anything you want here.
No, I don't want
It's
to.
just the internet.
Because, no, one of the 3 people watching will be my mother, so I don't think I'm going to
Are
do
you
that.
going to tell your mom you did this?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm
What
slightly
do you-
uncomfortable. I don't
Are
know.
you? What do you
I'm
need to
gonna-
do?
But you know what? This shows that I got white socks on.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
don't,
not good.
It's
You
not a
probably
good
don't
look.
wanna-
But
Be careful of the
the
sign
cat's
here,
out of the
because,
bag.
we were set decorating all morning here.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, thanks.
Just to look okay.
Huh?
I'm
Are we
very
good?
casual.
Yeah.
but-
No, you're doing fine.
All right.
Okay. Now,
With all this film work, what the heck am I doing here?
I'm not quite sure, but I want to run down some of the things you've done for
Okay,
people
good.
who don't watch you, who don't know you.
I understand.
But you also did Seinfeld, Doogie Howser, and that 70s
Yeah,
show.
and don't feel rushed because I was just trying to provide you a segue in case I was taking up too much time.
No.
There's no such thing as
No.
taking up too much time.
In fact,
Okay.
why don't we just sit here for a second?
All right.
All right, so now you did get into the voiceover business at some point. You did some voiceover in Chicago, right? Because
Yeah,
we
kind of a lot of it.
we
and that's
shared
thanks
an
to you,
agent.
by the way.
Huh?
Yeah, you got me
What?
an agent. I had never done it at all until Mr.
Well,
Bill Holmes.
I introduced you to an agent. That's all.
Yeah, still.
Linda Jack of Grossman Jack Talent in Chicago. We should give them a little plug.
Yes. Hello, guys. I was there not too long ago. Stop by.
Oh, did you? Well, I won't get into that. But I went to your IMDb page.
Okay.
They have this page that lists all of your work.
And you can ask questions at the bottom or chat about that.
Can you?
That person.
Now, do you go on that chat thing? Do you answer people's questions?
Never. No. I've gone so far. It's embarrassing
big
enough
for that?
to acknowledge. Too big for it. It's embarrassing to even acknowledge that you've looked at your own IMDb page, but I think everyone has done that.
Yeah.
But no, at the bottom of them, there's a thing of discuss this person or
Yeah. something.
something, and so sometimes it's. I've looked at that. I would never participate, but
What's the most outrageous thing that somebody has said to you on IMDb?
not so much talking to you as about you, but I met him or something, and it's like he just came into my restaurant 2 days ago or
Yeah.
something, and then one of them said something like, and it was kind of sad because he was by himself. I thought,
Really?
Yeah, I thought I
Really?
shouldn't be seen as sad. I was by myself and hungry. It's not like I couldn't have found another human on Earth to join me.
You could have called me.
I could have
I'm
called
right
you.
around the corner.
That doesn't interest me, but I could have. I know.
Damn it!
I'm sorry.
It
This
gets me all the time. Well, here's why don't we start here? You have done some voiceover, but I just people tune in to watch this to kind of learn about the business,
Okay.
the business of the business as well.
Sure.
And so I was just curious, and perhaps the 3 people out there are curious too. How did you really kind of get started into the acting business? I mean, we knew each other. We went to high schools, in Crosstown.
Yes.
You went to Waukegan East High School,
Yes.
correct? And I was at Warren Township High School, and we met doing drama, speech and drama contests. Mm-hmm. And you did Alice in Wonderland, I believe.
I remember that.
Humorous interpretation.
Yes,
So
yeah.
you kind of started in high school, but where did you go from there? Because I
had
don't
an
really
interest
know the whole
in it, and then
story.
I went to college, wandering in, no idea what I was going to do. I got a partial scholarship as a speech major,
Okay.
and my parents heard scholarship, and that sounds
Sure.
great. I really should have gone to just a University of Illinois or something
Right.
that was cheaper. This was Bradley in Peoria, but back then, I mean, I bet it was $5,000 a year or something. Now
Yeah.
it's probably $30,000 or more.
Yeah.
And so it was a bargain looking back. But I had no idea what I was doing. And toward the end, I did a couple plays and had a newfound interest in that. And so when it was done, I thought maybe I'll give this a try, having no idea how to go about it.
Yeah.
Went to Chicago and realized there was sort of a theater community, and so did some plays for free for a little while. And then this concept of agents came in, because you know someone who knows someone, and you say,
Right.
that guy's on that commercial.
Right.
And you think, oh, you can get paid for these little things.
Yeah.
And so just like everybody else, tried to line up and get your auditions here and there, which leads to the periodic one-line cop role in a movie they shoot in Chicago.
Yeah. Because you went through quite a cop phase
Yeah.
in your career. You were a cop on Seinfeld,
But yeah,
cop in Baby's Day Out, cop on The Fugitive.
there's probably a string of where, and it's not like the jobs are coming fast and furious.
Right,
It was
yeah.
a couple a year, but I bet it was like probably 12 out of 13 jobs
Yeah.
in a certain series were cops. Yeah, but and someone says, I once got the vibe from someone, bet you'd like to shake that, collar. I said, well, I'll do that for the rest of my life. What are you talking about? I'm grateful I can be cast as a cop, and
Yeah.
because there's cops in so many things.
Yeah.
Even if it's just for a couple lines, I was happy to have the job. So yeah, I was saying. So then in Chicago, you do that. Now I never thought of the voiceover angle because you
Right.
know that you have to piece together a living for the most part. If you get paid
you
to do a
kind of have
play,
to be in every aspect of show business
Yeah.
in order to actually make a living at it. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you did a lot of theater in Chicago, right?
Yeah, and the idea of being paid for that is great. When you
Yeah.
become an equity actor, then you're actually getting a salary for that. But then during the days, you can be pursuing, commercials or the various TV possibilities, and then eventually, I discovered voiceover was another corner
Right.
that you can explore. Weren't you a hand model for a short time?
I was a professional hand model.
There's yet another aspect.
And oddly enough, Neil, they don't even match. Look at that, isn't that the old
That is weird.
the old
They're
hand modeling
backwards.
jokes? Yeah, I
that's a
just
good
love
one.
those. Yeah, tired of thinking about those hand jobs, but yeah. So you did do some voiceover.
Yeah, it was a good. Sorry, sign.
No, that's okay.
It was a good contribution to my pieced together salary for several years there in Chicago, maybe
Yeah.
5 years or so.
So now out here, you got on. I noticed you were on Kim Possible, and
Right.
King of the Hill, and things like that.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Did those come after Scrubs? Kind of. Would you say Scrubs was kind of your breakthrough role that
Yeah.
that opens a lot of doors to a lot of other things?
Yeah, I guess so. I think in those cases it was, I don't know, a friend or a friend of a friend. And when you do, it's like something like King of the Hill, when they're up into 200 and more episodes or whatever, I think they just, someone's name comes up in conversation, I think, and they go, we should have him in for and because I was only there once, and I got, I don't know, people often do more than one because they were so charming or something.
Yeah.
I didn't apparently make that impression, but the Kim Possible thing, I felt like, because I think somehow Nicole Sullivan is big on Kim Possible. She has some, I don't know if she had anything to do with it. She's she's a friend, but my name came up
And forget, I don't know who Nicole is. Is she a producer or?
She's no, she is a actress,
Oh, she's an actress.
formerly of Mad TV.
Oh, okay.
And she's always got a show on the air.
Yeah. No, now I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I got it.
But I have no idea if she had anything to do with it or what. But before that, before I was such a megastar, I did like maybe, I don't know, 25 episodes or something of who's Tim Allen in Toy Story? Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, Buzz Lightyear.
And the Temple of Doom or something. There's a show called, there's a cartoon. There was a Buzz Lightyear cartoon.
On TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Larry Miller, you know that name?
Yeah.
He was one of the regular voices on it, and for some reason left the show, and they needed someone to replace him. And I came close enough or whatever, so yeah, I did a couple dozen episodes of that. Once again, still in the phase where you're piecing together your living.
Right.
And that was great. Although oddly, at the same time, that was it was right around the time that there was a commercial strike. Is that right?
Yeah.
And around that, like during the strike, the agent I had cut me loose for some reason when I was in the middle of the best voiceover job I'd ever had. It was, and I thought that was a good thing for them. But they said, "Yeah, we're gonna
let you go. You weren't making enough money, and
thin in the herd a little here."
But I mean, that's a good thing for people to know that sometimes the agents will just kind of clean house, and if certain actors are not making a certain amount of money, I mean, I've heard many different stories.
Right.
But sometimes they just go through and it's like, we're going to get rid of these guys because these guys are making us more money and stuff like that.
I understand.
So sometimes it doesn't really matter how talented you could be. They're going to cut you loose sometimes,
Yeah.
Because obviously you have some talent, or you wouldn't be sitting here on this couch.
Right. I know. You'd have stopped talking to me years ago.
Oh yeah.
Or no, the other way around. I would have something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I don't really know the inner workings of agencies, but I think they're not big into voiceover and on-camera stuff potential.
Yeah.
Unless you are, 18 and beautiful and potentially could be,
right.
A huge star. I don't think, and maybe you don't have to say that they're wrong. That they don't. The fact that you have potential to be successful doesn't, and maybe shouldn't interest them that much.
Yeah.
I never had very much interest, really, at all from agents and managers, that sort of thing.
Right.
They're always like,
yeah,
don't really know what to do with you. And I understand that.
Right.
Because you're not easily pegged or categorized.
Well, I know when I came here from Chicago, most of the theater or musicals I did in Chicago were like original shows. Mm-hmm. And when I came to L.A., I had all this stuff on my resume, and they just kept going, well, you see, you haven't done anything. You haven't done anything. Because they hadn't heard of it.
Right.
I wasn't doing Shakespeare in the Park or anything like that.
As if that would have impressed them.
It may have.
Maybe more than your thing.
Yeah. Now, you're also in a very popular improv group out here called Beer Shark
Mice.
Beer Shark Mice.
Yeah.
And I always, with you, just refuse to say the name.
Yes.
So, the question I had with the improv, because I'm constantly telling students that I work with that improvisation is essential to voiceover, and it's really essential to an acting career in general, but more so if people want to get into cartoons and the ad-libbing and so on and so forth, being quick on your feet. How do you feel that helped you with your acting career, being involved with all the improvisation you did? Because you and I did comedy for a while, and then you did some stand-up on your own for a while, correct?
Yes, I failed on my own for a while. That's another tip of the hat to Bill Holmes, who encouraged me to try comedy.
Well,
and improv.
I think we were just bored. I think we were sitting around having a beer, going, "Yeah, why don't we go to Chatsworth?" Chatsworth.
In a grimy bar and do two-man comedy they won't understand.
I remember this is the story of Neil and I starting our comedy career together. I take him to a bar called Gallagher's, and it used to be called the Sundowner.
Okay.
And it used to be a bar that Charlie Manson used to hang out in, as I've heard the story. And it was open mic night, and I looked at Neil and I said, if you can do comedy here, you can do it anywhere in the country, I believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I just remember there were some pretty bad comics there on open mic night, and I just remember you just sitting there looking at them going, "Oh my Lord!"
Good God!
Good God!
That's not even a joke.
Do they think that? Why are we?
I know, and we're next.
Now, do you remember the first bit we did? It was and it killed out there.
Rusty
actually.
Blade.
It was the rat sketch.
Oh,
it was something you wrote, and but now we look at it and we kind of go, "Ooh, wow, that wasn't." But at the time, it was killing in Chatsworth.
They liked it in Chatsworth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had a certain, regardless of other things, we had some semi-polished comedic performance sensibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
And plus two-man stuff doing sketches.
Right.
They were used to a person standing there telling bad jokes.
Yeah.
We, sort of acted out some mediocre sketches. And so they were nice to us.
Which now you got in this group with Pete Holney, and name the other actors for me.
Pat Finn, Dave Keckner, Mike Coleman, Pete Holney, Paul Valancourt.
Okay. And you guys have been performing for a number of years.
I think we're done now, but
are you?
at least I think I am.
Yeah.
My knees just can't take it anymore.
Really, the young kids coming up behind you.
Yep. Yeah, we probably did that for 8 or 10 years at I.O. West. And these are people I knew, for the most part, from Chicago, because I got involved at I.O. in Chicago when I moved back there from here after you and I were doing the comedy stuff. But I'm serious about that, saying that I am grateful to you for getting me into attempting comedy or improv, because I'd never done anything funny ever.
Which always fascinated me, because I mean, in high school, I
was kind of funny in high school.
you were very funny in high school.
Yeah, right. But then I don't know. I got to Chicago and saw myself as some dramatic actor, and that was just
doing Shakespeare and
that sort of thing. Yeah, or it's just well, that's another way of looking at it. Is it there's nothing wrong with being a serious, meaning a dramatic actor. But if you can also be a comedic actor, that's one more possibility of getting hired by somebody somewhere.
And it seems to have worked out pretty good for you.
It did work out well. And to circle around to the improv thing, I'll tell you, one thing I noticed right away when I got sort of comfortable with it in Chicago is I had an audition for Rookie of the Year, you might have mentioned.
Yeah.
A baseball movie. But at the time, it was so great to get that job because it was like 8 weeks of work.
Yeah.
And, that was fantastic.
A Cubs fan.
Yeah, we shot on
in
Wrigley
a Cubs
Field,
uniform,
dressed, pretending to be a Chicago
working
Cub.
on Wrigley Field. I mean,
if only it hadn't been October and November.
It was a little chilly.
A dream. It was a little chilly. But when the first time I thought, you know what, I can thank improv for that, is because at the audition, Daniel Stern, who's a funny man himself, he was directing it, and the audition was more talking than anything else because there were only a handful of lines.
Yeah.
And I did a good job kind of kidding around with him, despite being a little bit nervous. And I thought, you know what, if the improv came in handy there.
Right.
Because I got used to saying something when there's really nothing to say. Just keeping the ball rolling, keeping the sort of balloon in the air thing. Just throw something back.
Now, when you find yourself working on like Kim Possible and these cartoons that they have out there and stuff, do you feel the directors kind of let you play with the little? Did you just guest star? Were you a regular on that?
No, just guest starred.
Okay, so did they let you kind of come in and have a little fun with it, or were they pretty precise?
I don't think so. In my only memory of it, of doing it before, like when I was kind of a substitute regular on the Buzz Lightyear thing, I don't recall having much of a slack to fool around with.
Yeah.
More like, you do your 3 in a row or something. Hopefully it's good enough that one of them's good enough. Otherwise it's like more this, more that, louder, softer,
right.
More. I got more energy a lot. That's I don't expend a lot of energy generally. And so I'm not, that's one thing.
Well, we had to carry you in here and put you on the couch. I mean, I was a little surprised at that one.
And thanks for the shoes.
No
I hadn't
problem.
put shoes on this morning.
No, that's good.
My feet don't normally touch the ground.
Well, you just turn the bunny ears over and then pull it tight.
I was embarrassed to ask, but thank you because I forgot that.
Yeah.
The thing about cartoons is how much energy, it's like, and now your character gets shot out of a cannon and falls down a mountainside. And you got to do that whole whatever. And I'm a little tired. Could you mind if I nod
Do you want
off?
to take a little nap?
A little bit. That was the hardest part for me. And the fact that your voice does get kind of tired.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get it early because you only have so many bullets in the gun, it feels like.
Yeah,
so when you do those, all right, just give us 3 each of these.
A lot of yelling.
Line. Yeah, you try to get it early because you're.
Now you had a lot of theater training.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel the voice work that? Because I know I took voice classes when I got thrown out of acting school. I did a lot of voice work with the less act method and all that stuff, which I really have ignored in my career.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what that is.
I'm not saying that people should ignore it. It's a very fine method, but it's not for me. But did you feel that that you used any of that theater training to sustain your voice within a long cartoon session?
I would say no. A better answer would be yes. It'd be more interesting and a show about voiceover.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to say, until I put my hand up, the answer to everything is no.
Okay.
No, you know what? I don't think I've never been one for classes or what do you call it? Techniques or that
Right.
LESEC method, that sort of
method.
thing. Really, in any way, and so I'm a bad person.
Who did you really kind of study with then? Did you do a lot of studying?
No,
No?
because I was invited to one class that because this is on the sly, is in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to kind of bring up the class a little bit because take it for free. You don't have to
Right.
pay. Just be there. I was there for
Right.
one day, and she kicked me out because it was like maybe more than one day, but it was one of these methods.
I'm
of
feeling
acting
better
that-
about myself right
Yeah,
now.
no. It's one of these method things of here, and you just repeat what each other says for an hour, and I just thought this is for the birds. And she kicked me out for using old-fashioned sayings. I said, "This is, tell it to the Marines. Get out. That's enough. Enough with the 1920s."
I tended to get thrown out a lot too, though.
Wow.
Mainly with Paul Zimmerman. Paul Zimmerman he'd be in the middle of a scene and it's this love scene with this girl, and right in the middle of it, he'd look over at me like that, and then my teacher would just go, "Holmes, get out of here." I'm like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Well, he was expecting me to do something. So, Paul Zimmerman, ladies and gentlemen, Paul Zimmerman. We both got thrown out of school together. I just want to get that on
Good
tape.
old Zim. My point is, though, that it's not. I've always just felt had a lot of interest in doing this and had some skill, some natural born talent that have nothing to do with honing or what. I guess a little bit, but so it's mostly like you can either do it or you can't. You can get better at it.
Yeah.
But you can't take someone who has no skill whatsoever at performing and turn them into an expert just because you know how.
Well, I mean,
So
you
don't
probably
think
could.
you can.
You probably could over a number of years.
Not if someone doesn't have talent.
Huh?
Not if someone doesn't have talent.
Yeah. Well.
I'd rather, I don't know. I'm probably not helping your cause here. If you have an interest in some
there's
talent,
no cause involved.
then you should, to get people to be encouraged to pursue voiceover and.
Oh yeah. No, in that regard, yeah. No, it's to me. I mean, I've worked with a number of people, and I think people can improve to some point. But I do agree there are some people out there that just, they just don't have. I think your right brain just works in a way sometimes that they just don't get it sometimes. So I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I just mean.
But again, we don't want to discourage anyone.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Just in the sense, I mean, if you're watching this, you probably have enough, raw tools or more, to be pursuing it.
Yeah. So when a couple people heard that you were going to be on this, they wanted to put a couple of these Scrubs, facts to rest here.
Okay.
Now, is it true that you when you got on Scrubs, it was an under 5? It was just an under 5.
Yeah, it was a one
bit
job
part
only
on the pilot.
in the pilot. Yeah.
And what happened that it turned into this, obviously this massive thing for you.
Yeah.
You're one of the popular characters on the show.
Well, there's only so many of them.
I mean, that's Zach Braff. He's not that good. He's
going to disappear from
exactly.
Yeah.
That guy's history.
I
don't know Zach. Zach, I don't know who you are. I'm just joking.
He's a writer, director, actor kind of thing.
Yeah.
He'll be around a while. I got lucky. It was a well-written scene that was played well, and in a good pilot that got on the air. And I think they realized it was a good idea to have someone who wasn't a doctor.
Yeah.
This other kind of thing was a nice addition to the show.
Now, do you feel you did anything on that particular day? Did they let you ad lib? Again, we go back to the improv.
Not in the pilot, but immediately, like episode 2, which I wasn't promised, but I was back.
Uh-huh.
Now, the guy who ran the show had seen me do an improvised show.
Okay.
And admired that skill, and so maybe like the second episode, he said, "Yeah, do it, like this and this. And if you think of something else, go ahead and say that." Well, I'd never had that before. You're always very respectful on whatever sets you're guesting on.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have the guts to, I
Just
just
make
threw
up-
in my own line, instead of yours.
I've been going over the script here.
Yeah, it'd be funnier.
It wasn't like that.
No, so he let me go, and then it went well the first couple times, and then once it was established that I could think of something funny on the spot, he would tell directors when they came. And with Neil's thing, just do it, put to the script, and then ask him if he wants to do it any other way. It was a great setup.
Yeah.
And a situation where the years of improvising for free paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was that was just a great situation.
Because we had talked about this before at lunch. I had heard a story of an old executive and a young executive were watching the pilot, and the young executive leaned over and said, they saw you and they said, "Oh, is he a regular?" And the old guy looked over and said, "Well, he is now." Is that a
that's
true
close
story?
to the truth. A friend told me, he said, "Congratulations on the pilot." I said, when it had just not even aired. I said, "Thanks, how do you know?" He said his friend told him they were in New York at the upfronts, which they used to do, show the clips of the new shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And my little bit was included in the little package for Scrubs, and apparently got a big laugh.
Okay.
And the people in front of him, one guy said to the other, "Is that guy regular?" And the other guy said, "He is now."
So that is a true story. I'm thrilled to know that that's a true story.
Close enough to, you turned yours into sort of a more classic. So
Hollywood
a young
guy.
executive says to an old executive.
Well,
he
wait
says,
till I tell the story of you and the farmer's daughter. That one.
My turn in the
That
barrel
one you're
sort
gonna
of
like.
thing?
Let's go.
Okay.
Now, do you have a favorite moment from Scrubs? Because that was something else people said. What was?
I don't think so. I would have to think about it, and that's. I'm kind of bad at my job or self-promotion or something in general, because that's probably the most. That question in some form.
People ask you all.
Including now. So what's your favorite episode of the middle? Everybody, I don't know. And you're supposed to probably have.
It's a job.
It's part of your job. That you should have formulated some, even if you don't believe it.
No, but I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying, it's a job. You go to work, you do the thing. People will look at me and they'll talk to me the day, and I'll say, they go, "What did you do?" I said, "Well, I had a voiceover job today." "Oh, what was it for?" I'm like, I don't know. And I had done it three hours before.
Right.
Because after a while, they all kind of turn into the same thing, so.
And as much as that might sound like, oh, isn't that a shame? They all turn into the same. No, it means things are going pretty well.
Yeah.
Because you're doing them enough that, like, people when ask about what's your favorite episode or favorite moment, they all blend into each other.
Yeah.
There's too much. I had a great time almost every day. Probably every day, I think, how lucky I am.
Do you have a favorite guest star that you worked with? Possibly. I know you worked with Dick Van
Scrubs,
Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke, and the middle Jerry Van Dyke.
Oh, that's right.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Did you say to him, "Wow, I loved your brother's show"? Because I hear he likes that.
I'm sure.
No. I think Jerry Van Dyke's great.
He's yeah. No, I didn't say
when I saw you working with Dick Van Dyke, I was truly jealous.
Well, knew that, yeah.
You've had great success, and I've always looked at you as a peer. Yep, Neil's making a good living. That's great. Then it's like, oh fuck, he's with Dick Van Dyke. Come on! How can it get any better than that?
Yeah, that was a real thrill.
I just saw last night. I'm going to bed flipping through, and Scrubs is on every channel on television. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
You're on television. You're on television more than Lucille Ball right now, I think. And
they still run like on a Sunday afternoon on Fox. I love
Lucille.
Lucy.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, when the baseball's not on, they throw Lucy on.
Yeah.
But you were singing in this episode.
Huh.
I saw the janitor.
Right.
Every time I see the janitor, I stop and say, "What's Neil doing?" And you were actually singing. I have never in my life heard you sing. I've known this man when he was shorter than me. I knew this guy, okay? I've never heard you sing.
No.
And I was surprised and yet amused to watch you do it.
I'm waiting for impressed.
Oh, quite impressed.
Surprised and amused.
No, very impressed.
Okay. Yes, I sang only briefly in that they did a musical episode of Scrubs.
You're leaning on the broom.
That's because I was uncomfortable.
You have this little for such a big guy. You have this little tiny vibrato.
Yeah, well, I thought that was impressive. Well, if I recall, it starts out like
it surprised me.
La 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 dee, whatever the words were.
Yeah.
And then it was only maybe a 1 minute less song.
I know.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it though.
Yeah.
Okay, I can check that one off. All right, good. Now the middle. Hey, what is it like working with Patricia Heaton? She's a big time star.
She is.
A couple of Emmys under her belt.
Yeah.
She worked on that. What was that show that she was on? The Raymond thing.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah. I was going to say, what's the matter with Raymond, but that wouldn't be right. According to...
Actually, I think she did a brief appearance on What's Happening Now.
That
when they brought it back.
Yeah. The spin-off.
It was her under 5.
Even better. She, Everybody Loves Raymond, of course. It was a great show. And she's, I think, the kind of person that everyone has, if you're a certain age, a little bit of a TV crush on Patty Heaton. And it's
Are you
it's
contractually
great.
Obligated to say that?
No, and I rarely compliment her,
okay.
really. I usually make some pretend mean comment.
Okay.
But it's
But
part of
you
the
get
thing.
to be your
I really
husband.
I know, and I really like my girl. It feels like scene partners in acting class or something. When we have a scene like arguing in the bedroom or something, it's really fun. Thankfully, we get along really well, and it's just there's nothing exciting to the story because I think everyone is pretty happy.
Yeah.
The kids are great.
Yeah.
Patty's great. We all get along. We kid around.
Do you feel any more pressure now? Scrubs, was definitely an ensemble. I mean, it was Zach's show, and you had some of the bigger guys on that show, but it was primarily an ensemble show.
Yeah, and I was like 7th most.
So now,
integral,
do you feel pressure being the co-star? It's you and Patty Heaton, and then the kids, I would imagine, is how they're billing it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
because there's no like Alex P. Keaton, standing out yet.
Right. No
taking over
breakout
the show.
character, or whatever. Yeah. Well, for one, because it's true, I say and know that it's Patty's show. She's the star of the show, and I never think of it that way, really. That except once I said we were talking about the Snowball's chances in hell when they come around Emmy nominations.
Yeah.
I said, your agent's always like, and make sure you submit that or whatever. So I'm not going to win any Emmy for that. But because I said, look who's in the supporting actor category.
Yeah.
There's 4 or 5 people that it's like the nominations are locked up.
Yeah.
So anyway, but then someone said, you're not supporting, you'd be lead. And I don't think I've ever been a lead in my life.
Really?
I don't think so. Maybe in like non-equity theater. I can think of one time that I had to lead in a play.
Yeah.
But even that is strange enough to think, I guess I am the male lead.
Yeah.
But no. The answer to your question is it doesn't affect me or whatever because I'm barely aware of it. I'm aware that it's Patty's show. Whoever's narrating the show, it's their show. like Zach did the voiceover for Scrubs.
Yeah.
Patty does it for this show.
Right.
Do not be confused. It's
the
show's about them.
No, and believe me, I wasn't confused. You can tell that she stands out over you. Scads.
Wait.
I mean, what?
Scads.
Well.
I don't know if that's old timey or just inappropriate. Scads.
Hey, I'm throwing
the
it
Cats
out.
and Jammer kids.
Oh man.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Tell you what, Kaiser, we're Scads ahead of your army.
Now, we had the pleasure of working together in a film called Baby's Day Out that we mentioned before.
Yeah, that just got mentioned in an email. My sister said, and her small son said, I saw Uncle Neil as a policeman.
Well, yeah, I actually have some students of mine now, and
Really?
they heard I was in Baby's Day, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's right!" And it makes you feel really old when people. I saw that when I was 9.
Grade school, yeah.
Yeah, now they're 30.
Yeah, we were 30 then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's but again, nice job to have. Any job is nice to have.
Well,
and it stretched out to like 8 days. What should have
Oh
been one
Lord,
day, right?
I just got a $200 check
Did
for it
you
the
really?
other day. Yeah.
Nice.
But there was a fun story that I wanted to tell about what we were cops. We were the 2 cops in the film. And do you remember when the kids came up to us? We were in Grant Park in
Yeah, I remember
Chicago,
that.
and these kids ran up to us and they said, "Hey, there's a guy over here and he's got a gun." And the 2 of us looked at each other and said, "For God's sakes, call the cops!" And I remember we kind of ran away, but we're in these Chicago cop uniforms and stuff, and the kid did. So we went and got the traffic cops who always hassled us. And we said, "Hey, these kids," and the guy comes back with a kid, and he's carrying a gun, and
No
I was
kidding.
Like, yeah.
No, I don't.
Well, you were
remember
you were
that.
hiding in the trailer at that point, so yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I cost a full day shooting because I wouldn't come out. Remember?
Yeah, I do remember that.
This
with all the
bit player
extras,
won't.
too.
You
Do you miss Chicago?
know.
My phone's ringing.
Isn't that twice?
Phone's ringing. Yeah, I thought I turned it off. Oh no, we can't do that.
I decided a long time ago that it was bad psychologically to say, how you like L.A.? Well, it's not Chicago. It's just not. So I don't actively miss Chicago or say so, but I plan on living there again.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because, it's
I'm going back in June if you want to.
For how long?
Just a weekend. Kyle and I are going to go see a Cubs game.
That's great.
And then I'm teaching a workshop on June 18th in Chicago if anybody would like to sign up.
Are you really?
I'm just trying to get money for the Cubs tickets.
$100
a piece because the
tickets?
Yankees are in town. Yeah.
Well,
so.
okay.
All right.
I go back there all the time. And I have very fond feelings for it.
You're not plugging anything, right? I mean, usually people come on the show here. So far, I've had one show.
Yeah.
And so usually they come and they plug something. Is there anything you want to plug?
No.
Don't drink and drive?
Go ahead. I have no cause.
Really? Really? Just kids?
Laissez-faire.
Load up on malt liquor and knock it out.
Do what I do.
You're gonna be on TMZ now that you said that.
A guy came up to me from TMZ the other day.
No, really? You were on TMZ?
I don't think so, because I couldn't have been more mundane.
Well, if you were, my daughter will tell us about it, because she watches that damn thing all the time.
Yeah? No, I just heard, hey, man. And that's happened before, hey, you the janitor. And it's like, is that one of Jackie Gleason's characters?
Hey, you the
janitor. No, but when I turned around, the guy was also holding a camera.
Yeah.
What the? But it was small enough that it could have been something he owned,
Sure.
And so he just, but he wasn't.
Did they ask you that stupid TMZ question?
What is it?
Well, they always come up with some stupid question to try to either piss you off or
he did say something
or amuse
about,
you in some way.
He said something about the idea of the union troubles in Wisconsin or whatever.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Having played a working man,
Right.
But mostly he was just, it seemed about his kind of own thought, because he was a young, 25-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, you're always my favorite on that show, man, or something. Hey, great. Hey, what do you think? I said, is this just for, no, it's TMZ. Oh, brother. But I decided to.
Did they catch you coming out of your yoga class or Pilates or something? Were you doing Pilates?
Yes. I go to, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
All right.
Nothing.
It's,
I'm just impressed that I came up with Pilates.
Pilates, I believe it's Pilates.
Huh? Pilates? Oh, Pilates.
I think.
I got
like
it wrong.
Pontius Pilate?
I got it wrong again.
I thought it was like a club, like Pilates.
Yeah.
Place. Pontius Pilate, apostrophe. That's not a good joke.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a fun place.
Pilots.
Two of you go in, but only one comes out.
Yeah. My turn for the 39 lashes.
Yeah.
It can be, yeah.
Okay. The last thing I have to do here is we
just barely got started.
Really? Well, I'll talk to you all day,
Probably
buddy.
been a long time.
I want to get over. Oh, and we never took a commercial break. We'll break somewhere then. Okay, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey there. Want to have a good time? Then you'll want what I've got. A Voiceover Doctor t-shirt. Voiceover Doctor t-shirt. Ooh, feels so good against my skin. Feels so good. Voiceover Doctor t-shirt. If you don't have a Voiceover Doctor t-shirt, you're just bad. Oh, so bad. Really? Haven't gotten yours yet? Why not? Why not? The Voiceover Doctor t-shirt.
To get your Voiceover Doctor t-shirt, send your name and address the check or money order for $19.95 to Compost Productions, 2219 West Olive Avenue, Suite 215, Burbank, California, 91506, or call 818-567-1489. Operators are standing by, or at least somewhere in the building where they can hear the phone. That's 818-567-1489. Get your Voiceover Doctor t-shirt today.
We have viewers who have had some questions. These seem to be mostly Scrubs questions.
Okay.
It seems people seem to like Scrubs.
Yeah.
Because they're brainwashed. I mean, you cannot turn the television on without seeing Scrubs these days. So I'm going to rattle these off, and you knock out the questions here, okay?
No long-winded answers. Just...
well, if you feel like long-winding the answer, please do.
Yeah.
I don't want to stifle you. Stifle.
That's legit.
Okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, how cute is Zach Braff?
Good God. I could imagine thinking up that question.
Yeah.
I assume that's a girl asking that.
I have no idea. I just, email.
I'm just saying,
These are emails.
what could you imagine I would say to that?
Well,
okay, maybe they would expect me to be funny. Maybe that's why.
That could be it.
Because otherwise, zero.
It'll probably make this more entertaining if you could come up with some funny
You're right.
answer.
I should have just been funny rather than outraged.
Oh, yeah, let's try it again.
Okay.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how cute is Zach Braff?
11.
There you go. Okay.
Zachy.
Now, I think we answered this before. Is Beer Shark Mice performing currently? Do you guys have any shows coming up? Or
No, there was just a thing saying, "Hey guys, this girl's her kid's school is a fundraiser," and I gotta say no. Last time I did it was some good cause at the comedy club. What's it called? Like on Sunset, one of those places.
Oh, the Laugh Factory over there?
Yeah, like to raise money for someone. Okay, we'll get out there. And it's just a hell gig. You feel like you're 25 again, doing something
for nothing.
For gas money, maybe. And the audience, they think it's stand-up, and they don't get it. Why are these people?
Yeah.
I just had to stop.
Because you did little comedy sketches, right? Did you do
When?
Sketches?
When?
With Beer Shark Mice? I never saw the group.
No, never. It's improvised.
Improvised. You just totally improvised stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you wrote stuff too.
No.
Because you're a fine writer. You've been very complimentary to me today, but I would like to say that when we were doing comedy, I felt that the stuff you wrote was really, really funny, good stuff.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah. So that's why I always thought that you guys wrote sketches.
Right. No.
Are you writing anything still, or
haven't written anything?
Like a film or anything?
15 years. No.
No? Okay.
It's crossed my mind. I have to conclude that I'm not a writer since I've never written anything longer than 3 or 4 pages in my life.
Funny pages, though.
Thanks, buddy.
The funny pages.
Thanks. By the way, Zach is a perfectly nice and capable guy. I just don't.
Oh, no, don't backpedal now.
Well, I gave him a 0, then an 11.
No, I think I just.
How cute is
because
Zach
you
Braff?
know he's going to catch wind of this.
Probably quick.
I'm sure he's like, hey, I wonder why the Voiceover Doctor Show hasn't put me
my
on.
name popped up again?
Yeah, if you could get him to be on the show, that would be great. I'd love to have Zach on.
Next time I talk to him.
Were Janitor's pranks bits? Were Janitor's pranks bits that were written in, or were they improvised? And I think you kind of answered that already. They let you improvise some of his bits. Right?
Yeah, but it was a prank or something. We couldn't just create plot lines.
Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, some of the things are like, I destroyed his car or something like that.
Right.
It's hard to improvise. Risky. To improvise that. I burned down his office. Funny. No, the dialogue was often improvised. The plot was not.
Okay. Did you keep any of the stuffed squirrels? I have no idea.
I wish I had.
Yeah?
It was
Did you have a lot of squirrels?
The idea was he had a stuffed squirrel army.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Even though there were really only about 6 of them, they, through the magic of TV, made it look like hundreds. And I kept nothing, actually. I forgot.
So you didn't steal from the set? You didn't take paper clips and...
No, I felt I
Post-it
was
notes.
pushing the boundaries if I had a can of Coke in my pocket and a couple.
Do you still get a lot of fan mail? Because I remember I was on the set one day and we were reading some of your fan mail. Does that still?
Not a lot, but I just got some yesterday. They let it sort of pile up and
then send
it
you
in a package. Yeah,
okay.
But I guess it goes to, I don't know, because Scrubs is out of production. It ends up at your agent or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or the people are smart enough to send it to the middle. It's a little weird that half the time they send it to the middle saying, "I loved you as the janitor.
Yeah.
Can you send me a picture or something?" But
and then you send them a picture of Mike Heck.
Well,
are they disappointed?
No, I don't want to
in that?
disappoint them. I can, but these days the way people they find a picture from somewhere else and
and they send it to you and then you just sign it.
Yeah.
Off. I did that with Jimmy Stewart when I first moved out here.
Did it work?
Well, Jimmy Stewart was he used to run the LA Marathon, and he was in
charge of the whole thing.
Well, I mean, he was one of the sponsors of it. He and Robert Wagner would do this, and they were in a trailer, and I'd heard that Jimmy would sign something, and I had a book about, and I thought, well, I just moved to Hollywood, and I'm a young guy, and wouldn't it be nice? And it was actually a hellish day, because everybody told me, oh no, he stands right out there. You can walk right up to him. No, there was like security like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
And I stood there and finally I said to a security guard, hey, would you mind just taking this in and asking Mr. Stewart to sign this? You know, I've traveled all this way. And, you know, I could just see him and Robert Wagner in there, you know, sitting there. Well, here, Bob, why don't you sign it? Who the fuck's going to know? You know, I'm kind of hoping he did kind of like that. So
you did
I
get
didn't
an
know.
autograph?
Huh?
You
Yeah,
got an autograph?
I got the Jimmy Stewart autograph.
That's great.
But you worked with Dick Van Dyke.
I know I did.
I will
Patty
never
Eaton's
forget
story
you
is
for
that like when she first got to L.A., she went to church and turned around for the Catholic thing, the expression of
The
brotherhood.
greeting,
or
yeah.
Maybe it's not just Catholic, but and she turned around and there was Jimmy Stewart.
No.
Grace be with you. You know. And she's like, well, here we go. I'm in
That
Hollywood.
would be so cool.
I know.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
It would have been, yeah.
Did you get to chat with Dick Van Dyke? I'm like fascinated that you worked with Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, you know
that was one of the questions. Who was your favorite guest star? So
Yeah, by far. There are, you know, I feel like I'm getting old when they have young, hip people, people who are popular now because of their MTV reality show or something. I really don't even know who it is.
Yeah, I don't either.
And nor do I care. But the old timers, you know, you think, wow. Me and Sam Lloyd, who was played Ted on Scrubs, followed him around. We both had the same feeling about Dick Van Dyke.
Oh.
We basically, you know, all right, that's lunch. Mr. Van Dyke, where are you sitting? You know, here, let me get that for you.
Was it creepy?
And we
Was
just,
it the
no, I don't
creepy
think
janitor
so.
kind of a thing? Or?
Oh God, I think we were obviously just fans.
Yeah.
And so it was just me, Sam, and him the couple days that he worked, and we were just keeping him talking.
Yeah.
He'd talk about this or that, or his Army days, or whatever he was doing, or working on in Broadway or the show or something, and then he'd say, "Bud, you don't want to hear about that." We go, No,
We definitely do.
anything you want to say.
I
hear about it.
had the honor that I work with a casting director, Lisa Dyson, at Sight and Sound Casting, and she hires me to come in and direct casting sessions. Well, you've come in a couple times, and there was this commercial for a product that we won't say, but they were looking for old people between 80 and 100 years old, okay, for this character, this animated character. And so Ed Asner came in, Shelley Berman came in, all these, I mean, amazing people were coming in, and I was like a kid in a candy store. But the one that got me the most, Rosemarie. Wow. Rosemarie came in. She was, you know, she was in a wheelchair, just sharp as a tack, though, you know, had the bow.
No,
Yeah,
no.
swear to God. Had the bow. For you kids who don't know who Rosemarie is, look it up, okay?
Nice.
But the fun thing the world stopped. And there was nobody in the lobby but me and Rosemarie as far as I was concerned. And I said, you know, I have to tell you, you were my acting school. I said, you know, I grew up on the Dick Van Dyke Show, and you and Maury Amsterdam and Dick Van Dyke, I learned so much from watching you. I said, I still steal bits from that show. I'll still steal lines. She goes, really? Let me hear one. You know, so I rattle off something. She goes, that was a good one. You know.
That's great.
But, you know, at the end of the day, she came in here in this very studio, and she auditioned. She did a wonderful job. And what killed me, she was worried if she had done it. Did I do okay? I'm like, yeah, you're Rosemarie. Of course you did okay. But she just grabbed my hand, shook my hand. She's like, oh, you know, thanks so much for, you know, everything you said. That was so nice of you, you know, because not a lot of people know that show
50
anymore.
years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by far, that is one of the greatest television shows ever made.
I think so. And plus, it was, they were comedy writers.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
It made showbiz.
But Dick Van Dyke, you know, he was such a fan of Laurel and Hardy, Stan Laurel.
Right.
Did he talk to you about that?
A story he told was that he grew up idolizing Stan Laurel and Buster Keaton.
Right.
And as fate would have it, he was asked and did deliver the eulogy at both their funerals.
Wow.
How's that for my life must have worked out?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
delivered the eulogy at your idols. And he was willed Stan Laurel's derby, but
The hat, yeah.
never got to him, though.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, that
well,
was...
they did a bit on the Dick Van Dyke, a
Sure.
Laurel and Hardy bit, if you remember that one. And the story I heard was that Stan Laurel called him and said, you're wearing the hat wrong. And he says, you turn it sideways and it looks funnier. It looks funnier that way.
See?
Ah, man.
How about
the
that?
old,
Getting
the
a
old,
call from your
the
idol.
old bits just aren't, you kids, you don't know. Yeah. Well, Neil,
Yeah.
I think we're wrapping it up here.
It seems that way.
Yeah, there's nothing else here.
You ran out of questions. If you'd done more homework, we could be here longer.
No. I just wanted to make sure I got all the viewer questions out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to thank you for being on the show.
It's my pleasure.
Can I tell people that we're friends?
Yeah.
Okay, great. My friend Neil Flynn here. Ladies and gentlemen, tune in to the next Voiceover Doctor Show. I have no idea when it's going to be, and I have no idea who it's going to be. We have a few guests lined up. I know Tom Kinney said that he'd be willing to come in. SpongeBob, yeah. And we're going to have some agents come in and talk to you guys. So do keep an eye out for the new shows. But Neil Flynn, ladies and gentlemen. Neil, thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to just chit-chat with you.
Want to go to
Coley's? Yeah, we're going to Coley. Coley's Jamaican restaurant for lunch. It's the best Jamaican food in the world, and we're going to start having parties there, okay? So, goodbye, everybody. Say something clever to end the show. Go ahead. Come on, you funny man.
Where's my $100?
Oh, no, I'll get that to you later. Promise.
This is garbage. Waste of time.
Well, you know, my sign. My sign.
Your son's an idiot.
Sign.
You know him, you love him, you want some more of him. The Voiceover Doctor, a real smooth talker. The Voiceover Doctor Show.